All right, folks. So we are live on Facebook. We are recording and we are ready to go. And thank you, everyone, for watching. Whether you're watching live, you're on the replay, you're going to be joining us in just a moment, or you're watching somewhere on some channel, wherever this ends up in your hands. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And thank you, Jasmine, for being here. And who are we and why are we here? My name is Erica Rose-Siegel, aka your Grateful Realtor. And I have the honor and the privilege of taking the stress out of moving and putting the fun back into finding a place to call home every single day throughout the United States and Canada.
And my name is Jasmine Yan, and I'm a special education teacher working for the Department of Education. And we are here because it's Wise Women Wednesdays, where we alternate sharing ideas and strategies and techniques to watch your wallet about two of our most favorite things in the world, which is shopping and real estate.
And by the way, I'm just going to add, she's not just a special education teacher. She's also a super savvy shopper.
That is true, yes. I'm your super savvy shopper.
Exactly.
Here to service all of you.
Amazing. And folks, if you have a question, you have a comment, you need clarification, don't be shy. Jasmine's been teaching for what, 18 years?
I'm going into my 18th year. Yeah, it's crazy.
Amazing. And I officially taught in the classroom for 3 years. And I've been educating people about the real estate market for over 13 years. So we're ready to kick it off. And today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite topics, which might even seem impossible, is how to take the stress away. That's what that says. Stress away. Oh, wait. There we go. Stress away when you're moving.
Yeah. So knowing that, right, this is our topic. Obviously, the number one thing that we all know about Erica is that she loves to educate and share all the knowledge and information that she has, which for me I've been so appreciative of because we're always talking about the great things that are going on in the real estate world and in shopping. So with this topic today, Erica, what inspired you to create and want to talk about this topic and to discuss the stress of moving and putting the fun back into a place called home?
Well, the truth, you see, Jasmine, you really inspired me. You're a friend of mine. You're welcome. And I am committed to making this the best show yet. And I'm honored to have you on this journey with me. And we have our first guest of the day. I'm sure we'll have many more, whether they show their face or not. And you're a friend of mine for over 20 years. And you're a teacher in the New York City Public Schools, 18 years, going on your 18th year. And this past weekend, you talked about helping a friend move on a Saturday. And I think you were the only one that was there helping them.
Yeah, I was the only one helping them.
Yeah, and I just love people. And I know that you do too. And I also think you were the only one to help out our girl, Celeste.
Yeah, our friend Celeste, yeah.
We have a friend, right? And there was
probably doesn't know we're talking about her.
And it's all good, right? So Celeste is a busy businesswoman and she needed help moving. And she was calling on friends. And one was able to agree to show up in a snowstorm, no less, and able to commit to the time frame that Celeste needed. And I think, right, it was a snowstorm?
Yeah. It was fine in the earlier afternoon, but when we got to her new place in Long Island, it started snowing.
Yeah. And, on top of being single-handedly moving two of your friends in the past year, and I'm sure there's others, you're also a teacher. And in one of the toughest times in history of mankind to be a teacher, I would.
Yeah.
Right. And then you're also a shopping consultant, a super savvy one, if I might add. And you're growing a business, you're a business owner, and you have your own real estate with your family. And there's some logistics after, your mom passed and handling that. And there's challenges there. And then there's just like what the world is dealing with in the past few months. I mean, you had a flood, I had a bug infestation. If they come visit on the video, guys, I'm so sorry. And we are working on it, and I will do my best not to scream. And on top of that, there's just been illness and loss of loved ones and income and job security. And I'm inspired because I just want to educate people. And I want to I've been turning problems I've had personally and professionally in real estate and beyond into blessings. And it's given me a chance to give and grow. So I figured, why not turn it? Oh, so yeah.
You know, I totally agree with that. I think one of the things that we have in common is that we genuinely love and care for people and we want to help people. You know, I think the number one thing is it feels awesome and amazing when, as a friend, as someone who's supportive, as someone who's there for their friends and family, being there for them, no matter what, either emotionally, physically, mentally, is such a key component in growing relationships. And that's, I know, one thing that you and I have in common. And I think that's one thing that you and I bond over always, right? Is trying to be there for people and trying to be as helpful as we can. So, you know, I really love that, you know, and that's one of the reasons why I became a special education teacher, because, you know, who else better to help but children who need the most support, you know? So I think that's why you became a real estate agent too, you know, because you want to help people find their homes and you genuinely love when you can make them happy. So knowing this fact, right? What are some of the most stressful things you've seen people dealing with when moving, and how on earth can people deal with this kind of stress? And how can you really put the fun or help them put the fun back into finding a place to call home? Like,
Yeah.
where did you get the superpower?
So I actually hated where I lived at one point. It was a really tough place to live. It was this place actually. I didn't actually move, but I hated it. I was in a relationship that wasn't healthy, and I was blessed to have friends that I finally counted on to help me. But I didn't count on them at first. I didn't count on really anybody at first. So I hated where I lived. I hated what I did. I just hated. And I was like, what? I can't afford to move. And this is what I do for a living. So I better start loving what I do. Otherwise, I'm going to be like even more unemployed because I was losing one opportunity after another, trying like to just like earn a living instead of making a difference. And so I look back when I heard what you and seeing what other folks have been dealing with during the pandemic, most specifically, because there's just a lot of movement, a lot of emotions. And my heart like really went out to them because, well, how can I help? Like, how can I really help? And how can I take where I came from? And there were fun times. I've moved a lot. Like before getting into real estate, I think I moved like something along the lines of 14 times. So yes, some of it was for college, but like folks, when you can get settled in a dorm or roommates or what have you, it's moving. And like people show up or they don't. And if they're not there, it kind of sucks. Like if you don't have a team. So, and yes, I really do. I had a feeling you were going to ask, like, how did I get that superpower? That's kind of it. You know, I developed it. It was like fight or flight, right? Like keep fighting the problems and the challenges or fly and learn how to fly again and learn how to love where I live or move, right? Like either way is fine. And so what I figured I do is I just share some of the most stressful things I've seen people deal with. And of course, and when moving. And of course, I invite anyone watching in our audience or on social or on the recording to comment or message us if you're not comfortable with the biggest challenges they've dealt with. Because then we can help you with that too. You never know whose life you're going to be changing or whose move you're going to help make possible just by asking or inquiring. And together, we will see how I can help you simplify the process and add some fun, joy, and magic to your home and to your move. So, and with that said, let's just chat about, I'm gonna briefly run through the topics that I think are the most stressful. when moving, and then we'll pick up and analyze a couple, or come to the answers, not analyze them, but like come up with some solutions because I'm a solutions creator. So the first one is trying to do everything yourself. No pass. That's definitely stressful. Number two, having no idea what you really want in a home. Number three, moving everything because you think you need it all. Number four, moving because you think that will make you happy. I didn't move and I'm happy, folks. Having no idea what you signed on the dotted line. We're talking homeowners insurance. We're talking renters insurance. We're talking co-op. I own one. And then all of a sudden things showed up that I'm like, I'm having problem concern. So no idea what you signed mortgage agreements and how much this could really cost you without representation. Number five, I think, six. I'm not going to number anymore. We've got a handful of topics.
Yeah.
Trying to cover up and hide problems in the house. We all have our, the house wasn't built brand new. And even if it was, there's probably something that's not perfect. We're not perfect. So don't try to cover it up, at least without a professional to guide you. Because that's stress. And not saying what you really want in a realtor. Like if you are expecting and you don't get it, that's because you didn't say what you needed. Hiring a professional because of how much they charge. So many people choose professionals based on price. Another thing that causes stress is not knowing all the facts when buying, selling, renting, or investing. Not knowing all the incentives, options for you and for your loved ones that are involved in moving now, 6 months from now, 6 years from now, whenever you're moving, like what's available to you right now. So I'm not a psychic, but I can tell you what's happening right now. Or what's the benefit of potentially waiting based on your specific needs? Staying in a home because you'd rather die than move, even if it's a must. You have no idea how many people, Jasmine, have said to me, I'm going to die in this home. There's no way I'm moving. Hell no. And waiting until the last minute. Like, it happens. But if you're thinking about having a baby, if you're thinking about getting a divorce, start talking. Or if somebody's sick, start prepping. Not knowing when to let go and let God or whatever higher power you believe in. And not celebrating the process. So these are the topics that I think are most vital. And I want to know, based on what I shared, what are you thinking?
Wow. Well, in general, that's a really long list. And I definitely think for our series, we could definitely touch upon every single one and make it a series itself. That's something that you probably could do because you have a lot of knowledge about each of these topics, right? But let's talk about one, right? For now. And like I said, in our further shows in our series, we can definitely touch upon each. But right now, let's just think about maybe, I'm just going to pick one relating to trying to do the entire thing yourself. I know from experience, with people, a lot of people want to pack themselves, clean, declutter, organize their lives themselves because they don't want people to know, like, what's in their house, what abundance of things they have, or they just, are control freaks and they need to know everything, where everything is going to go. So, trying to do this all by yourself, let's talk about that. Let's kick it back to the audience and let's ask you if any of you have any challenges that really struck a chord or someone can need, Erica's help or show us how to simplify the process to add some fun, joy. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, well, fun and joy is what we're about here.
Yeah.
And, we even have this little bottle of stress away to make it a little bit more fun. And we have some little cheerleading sticks, right? And you asked me to chat about my favorite topic, the first one, trying to do the entire thing yourself. So I get it. Like having people go through your stuff is like weird, right? And I'll think about, and I started to share some of this with you. I'm going to think about my favorite move ever. It was in a snowstorm. I'm pretty sure. I think I remember it being, it was the winter. And there was a flood. I was closing my eyes trying to like picture this, 1962. Golden Girls. So I was actually in a car accident a few weeks prior, and there was a flood that went from one part of the building to another part of the building where I live. So where I actually live was filled with water. Then my cat was upset, so it was filled with some urine. And then there was filled with some mold. And then it was filled with all my stuff. And I was in a car accident. And so I was able to walk, but the idea of picking up anything heavy was not happening. And I was really nervous because, you know, it was a relatively new boyfriend and he offered to help and he brought a friend or two. And I told some people I was moving, but I really didn't ask for help. And this was, I was selling real estate, but I was definitely selling real estate, but I just didn't ask for help. Like I really didn't know that people would show up the way they did.
Mm-hmm.
And what's incredible is that he asked me the night before, you know, I guess you'll say from every problem, there's a gift. So our relationship didn't work out, but like he asked me the night before to just be myself and be great with everybody. Like, even if I can't carry anything. And so many of us, when we're moving, we have so much to do and we want to have our hands on everything, like touch everything. And we can't. I mean, I think when you've moved stuff, you probably pulled out your back maybe at times, or like hurt your head, or just sweating, or, you know, and so what I did is I sat there and I just was like great with everybody. And I directed them and I was in a great mood. I also gave everyone, like I found out what they wanted, you know, and so, okay, guys, you hungry? What are we having for lunch? I ordered whatever they wanted. And then I was like, I even ordered some alcohol because they wanted alcohol. Okay. And what's interesting is then dinner came around. They were still there. They were still moving. And I'm talking, like I said, let me remind you, urine and mold and water. And they were there, gloves, running to the store. And then the funniest part is that I had shared on Facebook that I was moving. I had shared with my yoga studio my concerns about moving. And then here I am in Mondays and Wednesdays, or Wednesdays and Fridays, like, namaste, move. And what happens? All of a sudden, the day of the move, I get an invite to a private Facebook event, and my friends are on their way over to help with the move. My boyfriend at the time did not even know. Like, he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I mean, like, one of them just said she's getting the cleaning supplies. The other one said she's getting, like, and she's at the store. Is there anything else they need? And there's a whole event that had been going on for like 2 weeks where they had invited people. They had organized this whole thing to just show up, because you think when you move, like, you hire movers and it's like, yeah, okay, that's done. No, there's the act of when you leave a place, you've got to clean it out so you can give it back to the new homeowner, the new tenant, the landlord. So they were scrubbing all the whatever in the old place. They were sorting in the new place, and they had come with the products, because I was, the thing about adding value, I was just an active member of the studio. I was always checking in, liking, loving, working out here, adoring my friends. So I'm not sure who organized it. It was the owner or like one of the students. And then like 4 or 5 people came from the studio and had already organized to just show up. And they happen to all have different skill sets. So one of them just like loved categorizing things. Another one helped like with organizing things. Another one helped with cleaning. And then with sorting through my stuff, because I had to let go of control. So, you know, there was like, okay, yes, I'm going to touch the socks, the underwear, my jewelry, my money, whatever. But like, other than that, like, no, they had to touch everything because I couldn't live. So there were things, they're taking things off the wall and moving things out. There was nothing. And they're dancing. We're having a dance contest in the old place to the new place. And I'm not going like, I have something to do. Hurry up. I have work to do. It was a moving day. Like 8 a.m., like whatever, 9, 10 o'clock we start. I had to throw them out at 8:30 at night. And like, I'm telling you, it was like 8.5 hours. The reason I threw them out was because I was tired. Like, and I remember looking at my boyfriend. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, they're here for dinner. They're still organizing. They're still putting stuff away. Like, I know we're not done, but like, I need to lie down. So he's like, go lie down in your bedroom. I'm like, okay. And what's great is that I was being really honest about like what I needed and my needs. So when you're going through the move, your friends don't always realize, your family, your movers, your whatever, don't realize like you're not just being like, oh, you know, this glass, I'm going to put it back in the cabinet. Oh, move. No, there's like an emotion. Like I had a flood. Maybe there was also potentially
Mhm.
a start of a new relationship. And I'm like, I'm moving here temporarily. I don't know what's happening, what's going to go next. But people don't, there's just a lot of stuff happening. And you probably have a full time job you're going back to, or not, kiddos, or just life. Maybe you're selling because something happened. So people like need stuff besides the mover and like the toilet paper and just, I remember my cleaning products were labeled like they were in alphabetical order and
Uh-oh.
like they combined the different, like there was 3 bottles of Fantastic. I had expired cans of this, bottles of that, this of that, because I had moved so many times and I never had a crew that just made sure that what was in my house needed to go to the next house.
Yeah.
So it was, and I mean, that's not even talking about the fact of working with a realtor, working with a team, like all of that. This is just the act of, there was a pizza party, some, I don't know, burgers, whatever, some alcohol. You don't even need alcohol, whatever it was. I gave them what they needed. And it was so ridiculously appreciative that I gave them the space to be silly. So people were like, oh, party at Erica's when you move. And I forgot about that until I shared that with you because I was like, well, I had to have those people help me during that time because there was like a thing I couldn't physically move. And who cares? When you're moving, there's a lot to do and a lot of emotions. So creating a team, and even when Celeste moved, and people don't want to bother others. I'm like, yeah, it's okay. And I remember saying to her during the pizza party, I've said to so many of my clients, like my phones won't say yes. Listen, guys, food, drinks, games, fun time, music, and just like let it go and let them, hire professionals for the glasses, not like eyeglasses, but I mean like this. Hire for that, hire for the furniture because you'll be mad at your friends when they break it later and you'll lose a friend. But like, the, don't do it alone because you'll get just so stressed out. And actually, hands down, you need a mover and you need a realtor because there's a process. Just when not thinking about doing it all yourself, there's a process of selling to buying, selling
Yeah.
to renting to renting. And having someone like me, I'm not emotionally involved in your move. A lot of the times, I have my real estate conversations on my couch, in my recliner, in my bed, because you're dumping all your stuff on me. And I'm like, continue, keep going. Because I'm like, I'm here for you, but I don't have to physically move. So yeah, I hope that gives you some insight about, I mean, that seems a lot more joyful than what you've handled in the past, right?
Yeah, I mean, when you have a crew and you have people, and with that being said, with Celeste in particular, she did hire a crew. She did hire a moving company. I just want to say, and what she needed to make it less stressful is obviously she had a dog. She just needed someone to watch and make sure things were being able to move properly. Because this is one insight that I can give you with a moving company. You want to make sure if you're going to hire a moving company that you're on top of them because depending on if you're paying them for an hour, or if you're paying them for a certain amount of time, they might be lackadaisical. So you want to make sure that they're moving your personal belongings, everything that you love, everything that brings you joy in your life appropriately
Yep.
and
And
on time. That's key because in the end you don't want to pay extra. So you need to just watch and make sure they're doing that.
I'm going
So
to give you thumbs up for that, Jasmine. That's a good always.
So, you reference the Celeste story and you reference my recent helping my friend move this past Saturday. I'm still awed that like this is all going on, right? I'm still like, I still couldn't believe that she couldn't find someone to help her, and it was like a last minute thing, and people not being there for people, right? Genuinely speaking,
Yeah, yeah.
so with knowing that fact, right? Like sharing all this information about like making it a party, and that's really like I never even thought about that.
And yeah, and you're like,
Never. You have a party, why not? Everyone's there, you're celebrating. So of course that's gonna bring joy, you know? Which I think is really cool.
And I want to add to that. So there's like, no one ever thought about it. And I was forced to in that moment to think, and I didn't, the extra crew, the extra 5 girls,
Yeah.
it would have been so different if they didn't show up. Like to organize and categorize and feng shui and put things and angles. And I'm like, what is going on? Like I have to find, it comes up every year. There's pictures of us moving. So when it comes up, I'll tag you in it because it's so much fun. And I'm like, that did not really happen in my house. Like I didn't want to, my landlord came over. He's like, oh my gosh, amazing. So, but I also want to say that when you're making it into a game, you're making it fun. And even you can post on social media, you can post in like an email thread in whatever community you're in and just ask. And what is that? There's a phrase by the Bible, the Bible doesn't write things, written in the Bible. And it's um, ask and it will be given you, and seek and you will find. And
Mm.
so if you're not asking for what you need, like, I really just need you to drop off lunch and dinner. I need you to take my dog. I need you to, go get my oil change. I need you to just watch my kids for the day. Like, think about what it's going to take. I need for you to manage the project of my mover. All your job is to check every 30 minutes that he is on track. Just stand around and just like be like that. You don't got to touch a dang thing because that's a job in itself. So, and it's funny because I did not expect when you were adding that extra bonus that this was going to be like this much of a topic of conversation, but it so is because
Mm-hmm.
mover, ask for a mover, ask your realtor for a mover. Listen, if you go to just like Yellow Pages or don't use Yellow Pages, they use Yelp or whatever, you're going to get a realtor. You're going to get a realtor. I mean, you might. You're going to get a mover, but you're not going to get a realtor recommended. And let me tell you, if the move doesn't go smooth, the realtor knows about it. So you might as well go to a realtor and not do that by yourself and say, who have you moved with? Who do you recommend?
Yeah.
Things, and I'm like, oh my God, I won't be going there that way. And I just really want people to know that moving can be a party. And even in the pandemic, let's be real, like we have to protect ourselves. So wear the mask if it's not immediate household. Take your social distancing. Even I have ones that are rollers. You can take essential oils. So you can rub them on. So if you're just like, I'm so exhausted, my back hurts, I have a headache. Somebody came to my house yesterday. Do you have this oil? I have a headache. So it's all of like, don't do it alone. Don't do it alone. And yeah, we're here. I know that was definitely a longer explanation, but I think and add value. And this is the funniest thing that I forgot actually out of this process. So everyone loves a party, and if you don't, you're lying because even those people who my neighbor's a hermit, true story. He tells me all the time, and he's the most social person during social distancing. Okay, he comes out and socializes all the time because he's finally given the space to not have people in his face. And I love him. Okay, so we stay far and he can open up. What I want you to know though is that there was a purpose to add value. So when you bring people together, maybe have people invite them, be like, oh my gosh, I'll get to introduce you to my friend. Like maybe it's a love connection. Have a moving party and people could be dating, right? Like, or oh my gosh, come help me move this Saturday because my other friend is
date and move.
Go on a date and move, right? Like, isn't that cool? So I want you to come help me move this weekend or scrub my floors or do whatever process is involved because I know you're looking for work or I know you're looking for a speaking engagement or I know you're looking to start running again. Connect people. Your moving party could be like a networking event. Okay. We call it ecosystem merging. So I'm in the Unblinded Sales Mastery Program. It's called ecosystem merging. I add value. You add value. We keep adding value. We exponentially grow our business. That's actually what Jasmine and I are doing right now. So, so I just want you to know that you could turn your moving into a networking or ecosystem merging event and have more money, move in less time, have more disposable income because you didn't have to like throw thousands of dollars on a feng shui expert. And there is one. We will connect you to that person. And more magic, whatever that is for you, whatever fun. You can make moving fun. Yeah. So back to you, Jasmine. What's next? I think we're at
well, knowing about all this topic, we don't have that much time. Let's just put it out to the audience. If anyone has any questions or comments, or, you're a little shy, it's not a big deal, but, we want to see what your thoughts were and if you wanted to have a specific question answered.
I was looking at my phone because I've got multiple alerts on Facebook, but we're going to respond to those later, actually. So we don't have any. Jasmine, is there, based on the topics I chatted about, is there one, because we don't have questions yet, and I'm sure they'll pop up or ask us later. Was there one that also stood out in your mind, or anything you wanted to make sure I left people with?
Yeah, I think the having no idea what you really want. No, actually, let me look. Let me look at your list. I think moving everything because you think you need it all. I think that's a good one. A lot of people do, and I know when I've moved previously, I felt the same way. I've like kept paper that I didn't even need, or like lesson plans from 18 years ago. Who needs that? Everything's so updated now.
That was the sexy thumbs up, by the way. I don't know. I'm so kidding. All right. So going back to it. So yeah, so that's interesting because that's going to be part of my free gift. So one of the reasons why I didn't move, even though I was feeling like I think I need to move, like this was a pretty rough situation I was in, relationship.
Yeah.
It was in this house, and I felt like there's no way that I could physically, like, and emotionally and financially just move, like find joy in my home when there was so much non-joy here, like so much. And I met Michelle Shinawaga. I'm probably messing up her name. She's what she does is she actually is a KonMari consultant, and she has this like whole process of how to spark. She's trained, and then she adds a Tony Robbins / Reiki master twist to it. So she's got much namaste around moving and around sparking joy in your home. So I have a checklist. So if anyone's interested, you got to message me and say,
I'm interested. I still need to get it.
Oh, I told her. She's like, I want it. That way she's probably message. Can you wait till the call's over and then you'll message me?
Yeah.
I want you to stay with us. We're almost done. Okay. We are leading the show. So if anyone, wherever you're seeing this, if you want this checklist, I can give you the checklist. I can give you her website. And I use some of that. And I, by no means did I do the job that she could do. And that's why people work with her. But I would like look at it and be like, is this bring you joy? Like maybe, someone bought this for me, but like, well, this brings me joy. It's a stress away. But like, let's just say this award. I just grabbed anything that I knew I wasn't sure about throwing out. And this is so funny. It's on my window. Okay, it's a real estate award from 2018. 2019. Oh my gosh, that's because we didn't have a conference yet, I think. I don't know. Tomorrow. Anyway, so a real estate award from 2018. And you would look at it and be like, I really need this? Like, does this spark me joy to like hold on to this? Am I going to be happy if I throw this in the trash? And you're going to ask yourself the question. Now, a lot of times when you do this on your own, you will not be able to properly answer that question. You'll get stuck in your own head of like, well, but how about what if, and I have 1,700 and awards are different. Let's just say it's a sweater, right? Like, and you're looking at it and you're like, what do I do? Do I hold on to it? Well, there's the trash pile. There's the keep pile. Maybe there's the recycle pile. Then there's give someone else pile. There could even be the sell pile. But you don't just want to like gone. Because if you're not having joy while you're doing it, then you're just going to say, no, I'm so sad. I let go of all my stuff and I moved into my new home.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure. And there's a checklist like Michelle has, kitchen, bathroom. She put together this whole checklist and she does training. She does Zoom training. You can actually hire her if you want, whether you decide to just KonMari your home and work with a person who can coach you through it, or you can start with the checklist and then go upgrade to her. Beautiful. And I wanted to give you guys that gift because if you're moving, this will help start the process. And then if you want to expedite the process, I invite you to bring her on because just like a realtor, you definitely don't want to. I have people now that are selling. And when I told them specifically what I needed for them to do to sell for top dollar, husband, Anna, whoever you're watching this, oh, there's messages over here. I'm telling you, it was like, wait, what do you want me to do, Erica? Which things do I need to get rid of? How do I get rid of it? It doesn't, yeah, that goes with clothing, goes with everything. It goes with pots and pans and papers. And Michelle put together this checklist based on the room. And then sometimes you need someone in the background to really ask you, like, so that sweatshirt's really going to bring you joy in the next home, in your next move, in your next life. And that's starting with a checklist is a great start. And then next step is upgrade yourself to a professional because you cannot get this done on your own. It's worth every penny she charges and I charge to help you move and not be on your own and guide you and coach you through this process. So I promise to give it to you. And I'm excited to and I want to make sure that topic, because I listed topics for Jasmine so she didn't forget, by the way, because I had a feeling she was going to say, so wait, you just went through 13 of them? Well, how do I remember?
Yeah.
And it's probably, like when it was moving because you think, no, moving everything because you think you need it all. So you don't need it all. You really don't. And if you can spark joy in the release process, it's like losing weight or losing negative energy or losing like a relationship that you don't need anymore. You didn't break up. You just let it go.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what our guest Diana said. If it doesn't bring you joy, get rid of it. That also goes for clothing, which I think is really important. I probably need that because I totally love all the clothes that I have and have a lot. So
Yeah.
I probably have to do that. So.
Yeah.
I agree. So what's one thing you want to leave everyone with, and who do you want to meet right now so we can continue, so they can continue you can continue giving information, and what kind of people do you want to have in front of you? Because I know you have a gift for sharing your wealth of knowledge.
Okay. Well, I want to leave everyone with that moving doesn't have to be stressful. And yes, you can spark joy in your home, even if you don't move. And if you want to move, allow me and my team the opportunity to help you. So we can make it simple, and magical anywhere in the US or Canada. I want to make sure of that. And I also like who I want to meet, anyone with a large audience. We started building this and just like any muscle, you have to keep flexing them till it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And I know this information is valuable. So I'm looking to find larger audiences to speak in front of because something tells me there's like teachers that maybe have no idea about this information. And while Jasmine is one, she's not going to go back to work tomorrow and be like, can I just tell you, let's all get into the auditorium and talk about, first, I don't even think that's going to happen. But like, let me just tell you what I learned about sparking joy and selling a house. And let me just tell you, no, she's going to be worried about whether or not she's catching COVID. Might be one of the things she's thinking about. Yeah. So, teachers, firefighters, healthcare professionals, police officers, lawyers, financial advisors. These are all people that are like frontline workers, like restaurant owners, like people that are out and about and they don't have time to think about themselves and they might just move in a panic. They might move in a rush or they might move because life is changing. Baby, they get married, they're going through a divorce, somebody lost their job, promotion, relocation. I want to meet these people. I definitely do. I also want to meet the people who are going through forbearance or recently unemployed. We just lost another 22,000 people. Not lost, God forbid. 22,000 people lost their jobs, from what I understand.
Crazy.
And there are people that were on this thing called forbearance, and all of a sudden, at the end of 3 months, they have to pay this entire mortgage back. And guess what? They don't have the money. Well, they don't know if I could add value to them by making that move joyful and fruitful, like financially worth it for them. And don't be too proud. Like I was too proud to ask for help. So this place was not my happy place. So I want you to know that no question is a silly question. Ask. If I don't know the answer, I will get you the answer. I have
Yes.
problems. This, yeah, Jasmine knows. Like I'm like, oh, I got a resource. I got a this. I got a that. I've gotten problems resolved this week for people in my neighborhood and just in the community and just in the real estate world. I'm a solutions creator and I'm here to help you. And, also that, and whether you're a buyer, a seller, a renter, investor, or you're a realtor, I want to meet you people too, because you'll get better by connecting with me. Hop on a show, learn a little, take back some information for yourself. And I really, really want to say thank you. Like, I'm grateful that I get to be here and I get to serve. I'm grateful for week after week, Diana showing up. She's like, she's here, she's commenting, she's sharing. There's other people commenting and sharing. I'm grateful for that. And I want people to go out there and I want you to take what you're hearing and share it with people who need it. Because you
Yeah.
have no idea who really needs to hear this information. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. And Jasmine, just thank you. Because I know you're a teacher. I know you're a shopping consultant. And I know you're dealing with a lot of real estate yourself. And you make this time to be here for us. And thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Erica. This is your grateful realtor and me, your super savvy shopper. And we're going to sign off for now, but not forever. So see you next week. We'll let you know about the times because now that school's starting, I can't really do 1 p.m. for our Wise Women Wednesday series, where we share all things that bring you joy and all things that you need to know about shopping and real estate. So tune in and we'll let you know when our times are our new times, okay? So
Yeah,
bye everyone.
we almost forgot to tell you guys, Jasmine. I forgot to tell you my contact information. So I
Oh,
can't leave and
that's right.
without giving you my information. So my apologies. I am your grateful realtor. You can find me by calling me or texting me at 347-378-9383. I'll say it one more time. 347-378-9383. You can find me on Instagram at grateful_realtor. That's GRATEFUL, then underscore realtor, REALTOR. And on Facebook, Erica Rose Siegel. And and I also want you to know that I am just, it's an honor and privilege to be here. If you want a gift and you've gotten to the end and you're like, I want a gift, like I want the shopping consultant gift. Actually, I've got a few gifts. So I'm going to rattle them off quick so you guys know. We've got literally step-by-step KonMari consultant checklist by Michelle Shinawaga. You can get that one by texting me and I'll get you the link. We also have the Unblinded Huddle. That's a free place for you to take your brain, to take your mind, and take your business to the next level. An invitation for free, 8:30 to 9 a.m., Monday through Friday, Eastern Standard Time. I offer that as a gift to each and every one of you. Why? Because if I can help you grow and you're going to make a move, I'd love to be your realtor. And I'm sure Jasmine would love to help you shop and save money when you do. In addition, we got a mortgage consultation, a legal help consultation. If your relationship isn't working and you need a little coaching, I got relationship coaches because that's sometimes why people move and they don't need to move. They can get that stuff sorted out. I got you. Free gifts, right? Look at this. She's like cooler than cool, this realtor. Oh, and I know that one of our friends is going to love this. I got a hotel hookup. So here's the deal. Your friends fly you in, fly you out, depending on where you are. There might be some vacancies in a hotel. So I realized why not offer some gifts? If you're going to share, like, and comment, and you tag me in this post, in this video, wherever you find it, you want one of those gifts, let me know. Because I'm confident if we've got vacancies in hotels, we can get you a discount so you can help someone move or celebrate something special. And we're a part of it. We'll be your savvy shoppers. We'll be your grateful realtors. And we will here to unblind you to all the awesomeness in regards to making your move simple and joyful and magical and wonderful. So until next time, you will have to stay tuned for all the information about how to shop savvy with this beauty.
Yeah.
And have a beautiful, beautiful day.
Bye everyone.
Bye.